Oh, that's sick.
Hey Larry, you work here now?
I'm just taking Kukawa's place.
All right.
For today.
I mean, that's not a bad thing.
You want to make Ken do some scumbag stuff?
You think you will?
Yeah, I think we should go make them.
We can try. Larry, I need those emails at my desk by
yes, sir.
12 o'clock.
Please.
Sir, please.
So Ken Block's here today, and his Mk2 Escort's here, and we're gonna make him do scumbag stuff.
I try to. He's lucky my car's not here. I challenge him.
He's also lucky that HHIC car doesn't work, because otherwise circle jerks.
Yeah, he's so lucky.
I got to HHIC car this morning, and there was just a big note on it that says "Do not drive HHIC car."
I was going to drive it. It'll still do a one-wheel burnout.
Hey Ken.
So barely got home.
Sorry, Blaves. We're stealing Ken from you.
Okay. We had such good stories.
This is Blaves right now. Blaves has shot some amazing stuff for the Gymkhana films, along with Ron Carr.
Just talking
That's Matt. Matt's been banned. Let's talk about that real quick, Matt.
Oh, yeah?
Matt got banned from National, Alamo, Enterprise.
Yeah, because it's all the same company.
For doing the burnout that we're going to cut to right now.
Oh, what up, Hurt?
Were you on a business call?
Yeah, I had a call. It's fine.
They look like I'm plenty of tread. You're good. You're good.
I mean, you can't party, right? Ah, look at that sizzle.
It's like the most proud I've ever been of Matt.
Go on to any one of Enterprise's social media accounts and tell them to what free Matt. Free Matt. Free Matt.
Free Matt.
Matt's driving like thrifty cars. He never has good rentals anymore. You want to come outside and watch Ken do stupid stuff in the Mk2?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Hurts. Do you know why I'm high-fiving you?
Why is that?
Because there's this video from testing that was kind of popular.
It did pretty
And
good.
you directed that or edited it?
Both.
You did?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, high five.
Yes.
But I was beat. I was so tired. And then I drove that thing, breathing methanol and all that tire smoke. And you can see in that video, like, I'm just kind of delirious. Like, and I'm so blown away by driving that car that I'm just like it's like when I look at my mannerisms in that video, it's kind of really odd.
I can't say I've ever seen you that way, and my favorite part of your emotions in the video is when it cuts to the driving footage and you're talking about how genuinely crazy the car is, and the music stops and your voice is real.
This is truly one of those times with this car where we built something that it's genuinely overpowering the tires like nothing I've ever seen before. It's a feeling that I've just never experienced.
That car's sick. it's crazy.
Well, you know, the funny thing is, like, I say it in that video, like, I have to get used to this car because we're going to a very dangerous mountain, Pikes Peak, and I have to understand that when I control the throttle, what the car is going to do, how far out or whatever it's going to go. And, you know, obviously all the test footage looks good, but I'm on a bank. Like it actually, if I go too far, like, the bank alone, the gravity is going to keep me in, and I just knew on a flat road, like, it was going to be a lot more difficult. So then throw in the fact that we had mechanical issues. The car actually wasn't running very well. Even the last day when I did the Evo turn, like, it was kind of like not spooling up quick enough, and like
altitude, man.
Yeah, that was wild. So I'm glad I survived and I didn't die.
I'm glad too.
Just in time to do the man line. The man line at Hoonigan.
This is a great car.
In a car you haven't driven in maybe a year.
Since you're capable of knocking some rocks off the side of a cliff, you can definitely do man line in the Escort.
Sure.
So Ken, let's talk about that.
I actually don't think it's that difficult. It's just the fact that I don't know this car at all. And one of the things I wanted to talk about today with this car is this the right engine setup for what we want to do with this car? Because it's a rally car. Like, it's built to go very fast on roads. It's not built like for really slow stuff. So Andreas actually struggled with this car in grid in Greece because, like, he never really got out of first gear. This car works best when you have high RPM.
Right.
So I think we kind of need something that will get the RPM like lower, you know, like a turbo,
right,
which ruins the sound of this car.
Is there a bigger four-cylinder that you can put in it?
Can I say something real quick though?
Yeah.
It's really awesome. It has a flock dashboard. It's super wild in a race car.
Well, you know why?
No, I don't. I'd like to
And
know.
do you know why? I've used flat black like on my hoods a lot, and not that we really need it, but do you know why?
There's sun reflecting
Sun
on you.
reflection.
That makes
so,
sense.
especially like in stage rally, because you know if you're in Africa doing the safari rally and the sun's getting, because you race from dawn to dusk and the sun's coming up, you have this reflection like off either here or here. So that's the reason why.
But it is extra special when it's flocked, though.
Yeah.
You could just paint it matte black.
No.
Yeah, see, it looks
But the flock's even better because you just
flock.
get very. I mean, look, you won't get that reflection out of
Yeah.
that. It's just not shiny enough.
That's awesome, though.
But a lot of people that like, I saw a school bus the other day that had a flat black hood. But if you saw the school bus, it actually had a big hood, and it was right at the right angle that if the sun were, you know, in the morning when kids are being driven to school, like that hood would reflect the sun right into the driver's eyes. So I was like, oh yeah, look, what I know from stage rally is being used on a school bus.
Well, it's practical and it's actually proven to work.
Okay, well, so this is a 1978 Mark II Escort. This car was never sold in the States, so that's why most people, of our fans from the States, really wonder about this car every time we post something about it. So it was mostly sold in Europe, but especially England, but it was used specifically for rally. Now, I've known about this car for a long time, and I've known a lot of the great history of it, seen lots of videos of it, and I've been a huge fan of it. Unfortunately, the first time I ever drove one was for the Colin McRae Memorial event that was a rally up in Scotland. So most of my career, actually all of my career in a rally car is in all-wheel drive rally cars. So there was a bunch of people invited, like Ari Vatman and Travis Pastrana and people like that had been friends with Colin or knew Colin. So we're all invited up to go to this memorial rally. But we all had to drive old rally cars. So I and Travis Pastrana ended up in Mark I and Mark II Escorts. And I was like, sweet, I finally get to drive this dream car of mine. But I was driving against a bunch of people that had a lot of experience in these cars because they actually grew up in that era when they raced these cars. So I showed up there, and first time driving a rear-wheel drive rally car on gravel, and I, quite frankly, sucked at it. It was really, really difficult. From that moment on, I said, not only do I love this car, but I sucked at it. So I gotta have to buy one of these at some point and learn to drive this and learn to drive it well. Years later, I bought this thing. It was a light tarmac build. Took it out and tested it a couple times. It was really fun to drive. There's a great video of myself and Chris Atkinson driving it at Team O'Neill Rally School in New Hampshire. And
Just tell us to cut to the footage and
okay, yeah. Cut, swipe the nice footage. Me and Chris Atkinson having fun with this thing. Incredible time. We're out here at Tim O'Neill's. car screaming. That's what I was saying. Like this car's meant to be revved out and just running wild, like on fun gravel or tarmac, roads.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying for Gymkhana. The engine isn't that great
No,
because
sounds amazing.
yeah, the sound is one of the things that I truly love about these cars.
The most important part about cars, period, is the way they sound.
So which one of my cars don't you like because of the sound? Because I know that you gotta have some opinion about that.
They all sound good. This one and the Hoonigan are probably my favorite sounding ones.
But NA Hoonigan or twin turbo Hoonigan?
Man, idle NA, full throttle turbo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I love both. You can't. That's not fair. That's just not fair.
It's that period of
Yeah.
time.
Hey, can you do us a favor and build another Hoonigan?
It's a version of it.
Might have something for you.
Oh, all right.
V3 is in the works.
What?
Yeah.
V3
We'll talk about it off camera.
and-
Actually, we'll just beep everything you're saying now. You tell them, we'll just bleep it because it'll piss off the audience so much.
Oh no! All right, V3 fed by a
With just cause. Or yeah.
Yeah. That's gonna be sweet.
So back to this car. So we did some very good tests with it. It was a lot of fun. But then I went and tried to race it on a couple gravel rallies, and I had nothing but problems with it. Suspension issues and gearbox issues. The wheel went up inside here and stuck. The car just kept going off into a ditch instead of like driving through the corner. Anyway, so we looked at what do we do with this car to make it a really good gravel car to last an entire rally. And because it's quite small, this would make an amazing Gymkhana car. We sent the car back to England, rebuilt the car to the specs that we wanted. Very wide stance, down to sequential gearbox, better handbrake, very low and very wide, specifically to be able to do Gymkhana stuff. Then we had this very lovely body kit made by Rocket Bunny. We knew what we wanted, which was this look of very wide body but still styled in the way that the WRC cars are done. He came in, measured it, and within like a day was already presenting us these crazy looking 3D renderings of the car, like actually sitting on a street.
So one of the reasons we reached out and wanted to have the guy at Rocket Bunny build the kit was because everything that was available was like very kind of classic rally, and like that looks cool and has a certain look, but we wanted to update it with kind of a bit more classic look. We wanted to enter the Overfender Nationals.
Is that a little form of derp shout out?
Yeah, a little derp shout. We wanted to take something that had still the classic design, but add new things to it. So like these cuts here, I mean that's right off the WRC car.
Yeah, saying that's where the fender even starts.
Yeah, and that was something you would never have seen in the 70s or early 80s when they were competing with these cars a bit more. So it was just kind of taking some of that, updating it, but then doing it in a way that like it almost seemed like this kit could have been available for this car in its day. So it was mixing those two worlds.
Like this is one of my favorite cars, and still to drive in my whole arsenal, but also just kind of the concept of what we started with and where we ended up. Like I couldn't really be happier.
This is my favorite car. The reason is because it's just too easy to say the Hoonigan's the favorite. Like the Hoonigan's obviously the favorite. It's obviously the favorite car.
So you're the hipster.
No. Oh, let me read you another. I'm the guy who's like, I like that band, but then everyone liked that band, so now I like this offshoot of that band that nobody knows about. Let's talk about this, because I have a random factoid that I don't even know if Ken knows about this. This Millington engine, the original design for this one that they built was originally supposed to be in Colin's R4 car, right? So Colin was trying to build the spec rally series, and we actually went out there and got to be there when he tested the R4 before, and this motor was one of the motors that was actually supposed to be going into the R4 car. So he said that there is a serial number on here that says McCray.
No.
Yeah. Which is kind of rad.
That's a sweet piece of history.
I don't know where it is. I haven't been able to find it. We looked for it, but he said somewhere on here it's punched in like a McCray serial number, because this block was originally designated for the R4 project because they were going to build like 20 of the cars and they only ended up building one.
Is this the part where you guys pull the motor out, put it in a glass case?
Yeah. Yeah, so if you break it today, there's going to be a shit ton of Scotsmen who are really mad at you. It's a Millington 2.5, right? And It has obviously individual throttle bodies. It's, as you can see, there is no turbo. It is normally aspirated. Makes just around 300 horsepower, if I remember correctly. Yeah, which for those of you who've ever tuned a 4-cylinder NA4, 300 horse, that's actually like reliable, not a dyno car, a car that can be ran on stage for 3 days, full tilt. You know, it's pretty amazing. But I mean, honestly, you just have to hear this thing. I think like we just have to start it up, and that's the best part of it.
Party time.
Okay, cut to starting. So that's for me the struggle, that I know that this car needs to be work and be quick for Gymkhana grid, but that means lower RPM, not high speed. So we need different gearing, and then we need potentially more torque, which means...
So what you're saying is this car is really bad at small parking lots like
Yes!
Oh. These are the built-in excuses. We're going to get them out.
Oh, man! Brian's scumbagging the HHIC.
I'm proud of him. I'm proud of him.
What?
You're just scumbagging Ken right now.
Yeah.
I'm allowed to scumbag Ken.
Yeah.
See, I think that's the thing.
That's why I took the camera. I don't know how to scumbag Ken yet.
Yeah. I've been scumbagging Ken for 10 years. We just call it directing.
Oh, man.
Presentation.
Very nice setup.
Is that me? Is it just me, or is that a new shifter? We don't have a state-of shifter in them.
Yeah, no. Since the car was built like this for Gymkhana, we changed out to that State-of shifter, and the nicer handbrake with the nice Hoonigan handle on it. So the whole setup in here is very, very nice. I mean, even like the display. Why don't you get the camera on the display while it comes up? Oh yeah.
Oh wow, look at that. That's nice.
Yeah, no, I love that display. I mean, it's just funny, like, you know, you can put obviously race displays in any sort of race car, but when you're in a 78 Mark II Escort, you look down and like that beautiful screen is staring back at you.
It's funny because I think the only thing in here that looks like it's actually from a Mark II Escort is this box here. Like that has the feeling of it. Everything else in here looks like it's out of a brand new car.
The dash.
Yeah, that has nothing in it. The completely useless dash. Oh no, it's got a brake bias control.
Really, very quite nice. I mean, normally you'd run a spare, back here also, but all that stuff was eliminated because it was just for Gymkhana. So it's all very light, very clean, very small.
Are your hinges carbon fiber?
Yeah, the hinges are carbon fiber.
That's crazy.
What? Your hinges aren't carbon
No.
fiber?
Straight from the west, put away your knife.
Oh!
No, they're just broken.
How to twerk stallion twerk. Look at that. Look at that twerking.
Wow.
Your trunk don't twerk.
I get it. I'm not worthy.
I'm gonna just ask a question that I know a lot of people have asked online. Why haven't we done anything with this car? Because we built it a year and a half ago. We did a little test with it. You did some burnouts here with it. And it was like the first burnouts the car had ever done. And Derek's still mad at me about that. But why haven't we done anything with it since?
You know why he's mad at you? Or is why he was mad at me?
Why?
I don't know when to stop. And the temperature gets too high.
I'd say cut to the footage,
Yeah.
but he's gonna do it again.
The one thing about Ken,
This is good. It's
yeah,
fun.
the one thing
Keep
about
going.
Ken and Hurt that they have in common is zero mechanical sympathy.
Yeah,
He
but-
calls it just ain't care. It's just breaking shit for
No,
her.
they love the limiters.
Yeah.
All, both of them.
Yeah, limiter life.
I like the party. It's not a bad thing.
So Turk drove
Okay,
it.
so Turk, we did a very fun test video
Yeah,
out at
yep.
Grange, right?
Yep.
And then Andreas raced it in grid last year in Greece.
But what are you
As
gonna
a
do with it?
Gymkhana-
But what are you
as a
gonna do with it?
Gymkhana-
What are you gonna do with it? The man line?
I haven't driven this car in so long.
You did 4
Hey,
minutes.
you know what? I don't have to do that. You know why? If Hertz willing to do my man line,
Okay.
happens to be in Colorado.
Yeah, that's actually a way better man line. If for any reason you haven't
if I
seen
can
that
get-
yet, let's cut to that man line real
If I
quick.
can Get the twerk stallion spec'd by a real race car builder to where
Whoa, don't diss Vargas like that.
if I can get it spec'd by a real race car builder to where if I go off, I won't instantly die.
Oh yeah, your roll cage. Your roll
right
cage
now,
is garbage.
Instantly die. So that's kind of deterrent.
It's made of like exhaust
Wait, I'm
pipes.
surprised. Wait, I'm surprised that car is a roll cage.
Although, factoid, Gymkhana 1 car, no roll cage.
No roll cage, Janetti.
No roll cage.
Yeah. And at the end of the video, I get out, and if you notice, it's dinging because the key's still in the ignition.
This was basically a factory car.
Yeah. It was production car.
Production.
Not a factory race car.
All right.
Oh, I'm sorry, Herb.
It has a
I'm
cage.
sorry.
Do you think maybe at some point we could let her drive this?
He's breathing.
Do I have to answer that now?
Maybe we'll just let the internet.
He's a smart man. He's a smart man.
Should the internet?
Herb, get in.
Oh, do you fit?
fits, it
If it fits, it shifts. If it fits, it shifts.
Can we put? Oh.
Does the wheel come off at all?
Nope. Oh man. He's gonna try.
Oh shit.
You might not be able to get out.
Wait.
How? Let me see you get in it. Do you have a trick?
Head first. Everyone makes fun of me for doing that. That's the only way I fit in cars.
That head first.
Head
is a good
first
move.
dip.
But
We can oil you up. We'll just push, kick you in.
Bros, you're not oiling him up. He's in my race car.
I'll wait until later.
All right, why don't you start this thing up, Ken?
Okay.
It's got a note to it.
Kid just come tearing
I
out.
thought he was trying to pop it. Thanks for coming.
So,
Yo, it's on fire.
this right here is going to be the downfall of Hoonigan. Is we're going to do a burnout, go inside to eat lunch, and a car is going to burn to ground in the yard.
And we're on fire. All right, what do we do? This is sad. I don't think we should do this.
Should we just let it burn?
No.
Oh, okay, yeah, don't want the car to burn down.
He's lucky I can't fit in it.
Next year.